This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to game number 5 of the 1977-80 Fall League World Series between the Cincinnati Reds and Baltimore Orioles. Just a quick recap. In Riverfront, Cincinnati, in Game 1, the Orioles went on the road and beat up Tom Seaver a little bit in Game 1. Jim Palmer throws a shutout, and it's 6-0. Palmer beats Seaver and won. But right back in Game 2, Mario Soto defeats Scotty McGregor in game number 2, 8-1, and the thing's all tied up. Then we go to Baltimore for a game 3. Joe Price for the Reds against, it was Dennis Martinez, and the Reds seemed like the tide was turning for them. They would get out to a 6-2 lead, but in the bottom of the 9th, the Orioles had closed it to 2. The Red bullpen failed, the worst possible time with 2 outs in the 9th. A Carlos Lopez homer, an extra inning RBI triple, and suddenly what seemed like a 2-1 Reds lead was a 2-1 Orioles lead, which compounded things in Game 4 when Tom Seaver and Palmer pitched dueling masterpieces, and it was a single run. A scratch single off of Seaver was the only run of the game. And in heartbreaking fashion, the Reds have now suddenly found themselves down 3-1 in a series they could very well be winning 3-1. And it's up to win out for the Reds. Is there a team that can do it? Oh, yeah. Well, at least on paper, they are a team that can do it. They have not had that World Series luck or the breaks, the bounces, whatever you want to call it. And they need it now for 3 straight games against an Oriole team that's they won a World Series a couple years ago in a different timeline from through 71, 69 to 71. They won that one. This, of course, a later timeline. Oh, my goodness. Game 5 for the Reds on short rest. It is Mario Soto. 3 days rest, so that's all right. And for the Orioles, making his first start here is Mike Flanagan. His first and only start in the World Series, as the Orioles will return to Dennis Martinez and Palmer if we go to Cincinnati or not. The Reds have made some moves to try and get this thing going in a new direction. They got their 3 right-handed hitting bench players in the lineup against the lefty Flanagan. That's Tommy Helms, Steve Bry, and Steve Nicosia. Just trying to get a change of sticks after the Big Red Machine mustered only 2 shutouts against right-handed pitchers thus far, which is staggering and stunning. And the Orioles added a left-handed hitter to their team for this game against Mario Soto, Jim Mason, just to get an extra left-handed stick in there. However, he is playing short, and they give Belanger a break. Leading it off through the whole series, and again today, Joe Morgan. 36 against a lefty is a walk, and he is flat out going to steal. At this point, they are throwing the levers and switches. This is tight. This is tough, folks. 17, -2 arm, 15, -3 to hold for the home team is 12. Out by a whisker. And the rules I play, because this is this era, there's no holding runners, arms, and all that sort of stuff. I play it -3 for the home team, -2 for the road team catchers for holding runners. Dempsey gets a +3, plus his +2, makes it 1-12, and he's out by a whisker. If you're wondering, is he safe in Cincinnati? Yeah, based on the rules I play. And I've been playing all sorts of little home field advantage rules for the last 15, 16 years I've been doing this. Didn't always have these games when I was a kid, back in the late 70s, early 80s, but there you go. So, nice little info tidbit there. Morgan is thrown out. Don't fear, Reds fans. I expect them to rebound. Dave Concepcion, 1-6, is ball 4. A stealer, he will not steal. Ken Griffey, 111, first B, fielder's choice. And it's George Foster, probably in a more natural position, batting fourth today instead of batting third in the previous part of the series. 37 is a K. John Lowenstein, leadoff for the Orioles. 1-7 for Lowenstein. Single 1-10. Rolls a base hit. Dower's been hit and running about half the time when Lowenstein gets on. He'll hit run here. Rolls the 7. The runner has to run, and we have another caught stealing. And that's how our first inning goes. Leadoff hitters getting thrown out stealing. Rich Dower will bat now. The base empty. 38. Grounds to short. And Ken Singleton, 45. Second X. Morgan's a 1-6. We go to the second. Steve Nicosia, 67. Lines the second. Johnny Bench moving to the 6th hole. He's not quite the hitter against lefties in this particular year we're using him. 2-8 is a K. A walk versus a righty, for example. Steve Bry put in the game against a lefty and he strikes out. Not a good start for the Reds. Bottom of 2. DeCinces, 310. Sky's left. Ed Murray, 46 is a K. Carlos Lopez, 2-9. Grounds to short. Where is the hitting in this era? We've had a remarkable run of pitching come through in a lot of these playoff games and the end of the regular season in an era that I think is electric for batters. 77-80. The 77, the year of the Seattle-Toronto expansion, batting averages were up all over the place. You know, the Carew year, the Foster year, the George Brett 390 year in 1980. But the pitching has been the story in this, I'm going to call it historic run for myself at least. Geronimo will lead off the third inning. 67 is a K. Tommy Helms, 2-5, rolls to third. Joe Morgan, 47 is a K. That's 12 straight scoreless innings, plus the last 4 or 5 innings of Game 3, and they got shut out in Game 1. This is stunning, folks. The only other thing that's more stunning is that the Reds were swept 4-0 to the Orioles in the World Series I was mentioning that I played in the year of 2020. But that was a different timeline. That was back when the Orioles had Dave McNally, Mike Cuellar, and the Reds had Don Gullett and Tony Perez and Bobby Tolan, guys like that. Whew. Well, let's keep going. Paul Blair, 4-4 off of Soto, short X. Concepcion's a 1-25. Makes the play. Jim Mason, and there it is, folks. 6-6. Because he's a left-handed batter, gets off the Soto card into the column. The 1 out of 6 thing worked. Double 1-2, single ... The 187 hitter hit the 1 out of 6 chance of hopefully rolling Soto's card. So the Orioles got the hit out of Mason. They might want to pull him at this point. Rick Dempsey, 410 center X. This is Geronimo, 0-1-4 in center. And with 2 outs, it is Lowenstein. 2-8 for Lowenstein. It's a single to right. Mason, I don't even know what his running is, but he'll most likely hold at second. You don't get the third out at third. And it's Rich Dower, a guy who's had some big hits in the postseason for the Orioles. 64 off of Soto. Oh my gosh, homer 1-6 fly ball. And he rolls a 4. And fortunately for the Cincinnati Reds, what would have been a killer 3-run homer off the Soto card is only a single ... and may have kept their World Series chances alive, at least for another batter. The Orioles grab a 1-0 lead, and I must say it before I continue, it officially makes them 18 outs away from being world champions. Always do that in a potential closeout game. Ken Singleton, runners on the corners with 2 outs. The pitch to Singleton. 69 off Soto was a walk, and here is no bigger at bat for the Reds, more than the Orioles here. It is Doug DeCinces. He was an MVP candidate. Let's look at his card in the beginning of the year. Ton of homer and RBI. Then he went into a massive slump in the second half of the season, and then he's hitting kind of okay in the postseason. But there's no bigger at bat for the Reds right now than the desperate out they need out of DeCinces with a bases loaded and 2 outs. The pitch to Doug DeCinces. 59 off of Soto was a roller to second. And we still have a World Series, folks. 1-0 in the 4th. Dave Concepcion. 1-8. Sky's the center. Ken Griffey. 55 second X. Dowers a 2-8. It's not just the pitching, it's also the Baltimore defense. And with 2 outs, it's the quiet George Foster. 67 is a liner to second base. Flanagan is not allowed to hit. Oh my goodness. Eddie Murray, 39, flies to right. Carlos Lopez, 64. Here it is again. The Soto card, homer 106 fly ball, and that's Carlos Lopez, who homered in Game 3 in the bottom of the 9th. Hits a solo homer here in the 4th inning. Now it's getting crazy here in Baltimore. 2-0 Orioles. Paul Blair, 67, is a K. And Jim Mason, 49, rolls a second. You know, they might want to pull Mason at this point and get Belanger's defense in there the way this series is going. It would be catastrophic if the Reds continued an inning by hitting a ground ball to Jim Mason, a 4E 22 at shortstop, when you have Mark Belanger just sitting on the bench. And that's what they're going to do. Belanger is coming into the game, going into the 5th inning, one of the most earliest defensive replacements I did. But folks, this is for the trophy here. I mean, this is 15 outs away from cigars and champagne and so forth. So Belanger's playing short now. Mason got 2 at-bats. That's plenty. So it's Steve Nicosia. 48 off of Flanagan's walk. Your tie run is Johnny Bench. 6-11. First X. This is Eddie Murray. A 1 at first base. This is most likely a double play, and it is on the 1. And with 2 outs, it's Steve Bry. 58, and there it goes. Let's look at the Flanagan card again, since we saw it at the beginning of the game and not since, because this breaks up history. It is the first hit for the Reds, breaking up the no-hitter in the 5th inning. Double 1 of 5, and that is a base hit after a double play. All right, but the Reds have the tie run up in Geronimo. The pitch to Cesar Geronimo. 37 is a strikeout. I've never seen a team so great go into such a hard slump at their worst time as the Cincinnati Reds. Bottom of the 5th. But they have plenty of time to get one of those crooked number innings, and they just need one. One out of these next 4 frames for the Reds to bat around and turn the World Series around, going back home with home field advantage for Games 6 and 7. All right, Rick Dempsey. Dempsey, 64, off the Soto card, the 3rd time in the game. Homer 1 of 6, and this time it's missed. So we got every possible result there. We got a single, we got a home run, and we got the fly out. John Lowenstein, 67, single 1 to 4 off of Soto is a line out. And with 2 outs, Rich Dower, 57's a K. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right, the 6th inning for the Reds. They have got to do something here. They are down 2-0 to Mike Flanagan, who's a starter 7. Tommy Helms, an old sage from the first Big Red Machine era. This is his 2nd tour of duty for them. 52 off Flanagan's the sky to right. Joe Morgan. He has been getting on. He has a nice homer in this series. He's doing okay. He's not crushing it, but he's doing okay. Joe Morgan, 48 off of Flanagan is a K. And with 2 outs, it's Concepcion. 1-6 is ball 4, and this is what we want. Ken Griffey and Foster as tie runs and lead runs here in the 6th inning. The pitch to Ken Griffey. 39 is a roller to first base. 2-0 Orioles. Kenny Singleton leads off in the bottom of the 6th. 63. Bouncer to short. Concepcion, 1E25. Makes the play. Doug DeCinces, 2-8 off his card as a single. Eddie Murray, 56 off Soto is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Carlos Lopez. 1-6! Did I show Lopez card today? I've been showing it the last few games. Let's show it again if I didn't. 1-6, the Carlos Lopez card. And by the way, he was leading the Oriole team in hitting. An Oriole team that was hitting 239, by the way. But he was hitting about 300 to lead the squad in a mostly full-time role. He plays about 2/3 of the time. Doesn't always play against lefties. 1-6, double 1-12, gets a double. It is 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs. And Soto absolutely positively needs this. Paul Blair, not that good against righties, and Soto dominates. The pitch to Paul Blair. 65 is ball 4. And oh my goodness, folks. Remember the lefty Jim Mason I pulled out? Well, now we got the righty Mark Belanger. Take a look at this column if another 6 is rolled, because that would have been the on column for Mason. So it's bases loaded, 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. And it's Mark Belanger. The pitch to the blade. 57 is a strikeout no matter how you slice it. Way to go, Marius Soto. He's put a lot of dudes on. 10 of them. Only 2 have scored. But that is not your story. Your story is number 46 of the Baltimore Orioles, left-hander Mike Flanagan. They're counting outs. Palmer gave them all the rest they needed. The whole bullpen is available. Scott McGregor is added to that bullpen. They have 2 lefties available. 2-0 game. All defense in. George Foster. 2-5 is a K. Steve Nicosia. 68 is a base hit off Flanagan. He comes through today from off the bench. Gets on base 2 out of 3 times as a right-hander. It's what they wanted. Here is Johnny Bench. The tie run in the top of the 7th inning. The pitch to Johnny Bench. 54 off Flanagan's a pop to first. Needed a 5-10, not 5-4. And with 2 outs, Steve Bry, like Nicosia, reached once in 2 trips. He wants to reach twice in 3 trips. He will bat as the tie run. Let's look at the Steve Bry card. You see power against lefties. He's got power. And you could tie this thing. The pitch to Steve Bry. 4-11 off Flanagan is right X. Now, this is Lopez. He's a 3E10. That's a high E rating. He's a 3 in right field. E10, we're going to plug it in right here, and you look for a result. It 2-base error! So your World Series MVP just got a blemish. Carlos Lopez, 2-base error. The top of the 7th inning. And it's 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs, and Cesar Geronimo. Flanagan's not broken, throwing a shutout. Let's take a look at the Geronimo card. This is interesting here. You see the home runs against left-handed pitching on his card. Flanagan is a homer 1-9 on the roll of 210. Geronimo was hitting, by the way. Do you even think of going to your bullpen and getting a different pitcher in there to face Geronimo? With 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs. I'm not really concerned with the homer. I'm concerned more with a 2-run single in this case, of which he doesn't necessarily have a lot. So, Flanagan will be put in this moment. He was put in the moment in the Angels series, in the 6th inning of the Angels series, and left in with the bases loaded and 2 outs and got the final out. He's looking for something similar here in World Series Game 5. The pitch to Cesar Geronimo. And this is what he needs, by the way, another 1-3. I want you to see that before the dice is rolled. That would have been a 3-run homer. He needs to do it again. Here's the roll. 1-8 hits this column, but no! It's single 1-2 against lefties, and he rolls an 8. And folks, 1-8 against right-handed pitchers is single 1-15. So had you pulled Flanagan for the righty, he gets the base hit on that. That is single 1-2 line out. That is what the Reds have been getting for now 5 games of this. a ton of frustration. They have to hang in there. They're just down 2 runs and can turn this thing around in the last 2 frames. They need Soto to continue buzzing the Oriole bats. Bottom of the 7th. Stretch time music. We are still listening to the same LP we listened to from the start. Crack the Sky live at the Warner Theater. Doing Ice and some other songs. All right. Here we go. It'll be Rick Dempsey leading off the bottom of the 8th. 66 off Soto is a walk. John Lowenstein and Singleton, 2 of the next 3 batters are lefties. It's only the 7th. You have to hang with Soto and hope for the best. You have to think you're going to get some breaks in the series if you're Reds fans. John Lowenstein, 35 is a walk. Absolutely positively need to get Dower out. And if you're Dower, you almost have to bunt here with a 2-0 lead in the World Series. He will bunt. He is a B bunter. Dropping the bunt down. He rolls the 6 on the bunt, and now you got 2nd and 3rd and 1 out in Ken Singleton, and now you have a visit to the mound. You got to really think this out carefully. Ken Singleton is a switch hitter. Soto is definitely worse against lefties than righties. You got the Sensei and another lefty. So you figure, let's say Singleton gets on, but then DeCinces gets out, then you still have another lefty after that. So you're probably pulling Soto in this inning anyway. If you want a better result. We're going to switch the musical selections to a different Crack the Sky record to continue. Here we go. Animal Notes, 76. We're back. All right. That was a TV timeout there as the pitcher comes to the mound. Kenny Singleton is at the plate. Let's look at our options. We'll go through this very calmly here. In the bullpen, Joe Price has been added to Jim Willoughby, Ron Davis, Dave Tomlin, and Doug Bear. Plenty of lefties and righties. Jim Willoughby would be a good suggestion as a righty who gets lefties out. I'd be concerned him against DeCinces, but I'd also like him against Ed Murray. If you want to get... it's like nowhere land. You know, it's 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, and you're down 2, and you've lost 3 out of 4 World Series games. This is really nowhere land for the Reds. It wouldn't be that way if they just hit. But they're forcing Sparky Anderson. I'm going to play this as Sparky Anderson, vintage Sparky Anderson. He unloads his bullpen knowing everything is happening, and they're going to empty it, folks, and they're going to start Jim Willoughby. He's going to come in to face Singleton. Singleton is better against lefties. Willoughby is also better against lefties. And he's a righty. So this is advantage Willoughby in a high leverage situation. Soto leaves after 6 and a batter, and 6 and 1 out, 6 and a third innings. There's 2 runners at 2nd and 3rd. That's a 9 sacrifice bunt. The 2 runners are charged to him. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. It is Jim Willoughby in the 7th inning to face Ken Singleton with the infield up. Before I roll this, I want to mention that the normally great Red infield is missing a guy. Tom Hutton is on the bench today because he's left-handed, and they really could use him and Jack Brohammer at 3rd if some ridiculous E-rating were to come up in this situation. The pitch to Ken Singleton. 58 off of Willoughby is a pop to 3rd. Now, what do? Do you dare to walk DeCinces with a bag open and face Ed Murray? Sparky Anderson, do you have the balls to do that? To get the lefty Ed Murray against Jim Willoughby. And we're going to do it, folks. The Reds have been playing so poorly. They're going to pull this one out. They're loading the bases. They're putting DeCinces at first because they want this guy. Can you believe this? Ed Murray. Let's take a look at him. They want to pitch to Eddie Murray with the bases loaded and 2 out in the 7th inning in a potentially deciding World Series game. And the reason is Murray's much better against lefties. And like I said about Jim Willoughby and Singleton, Willoughby's better against lefties. He got Singleton out. He needs to do the same thing right here to Ed Murray. With the bases loaded and 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th, the pitch to Eddie Murray. 1-7 is a strikeout. The Reds survive the 7th inning. We have got 6 outs to get for the Orioles. And if they don't get them, folks, even though the Reds will still be down in the series, huge momentum swing if the Reds pull this out. Flanagan has Helms, Morgan, and that's about it. You want Flanagan to pitch to Morgan, as Flanagan's good against lefties. And if they both reach, you'll take him out. You cannot let Flanagan lose this World Series game. So when 2 batters reach, it's an automatic hook. Again, the Orioles have 5 pitchers to get 6 outs available. So it'll be Tommy Helms leading off in the 8th against Flanagan. 54, pops to first. Not even an X. My goodness. Joe Morgan is the batter. Oh my goodness. Joe Morgan, the pitch. 2-10. Let's take a look at Joe Morgan's card. It is gone. It is a run. It is the ignition the Reds need. It is a 2-1 game. And very quickly, Earl Weaver comes trotting out of the Oriole bullpen, Oriole dugout, to make the move. How do you want to do it? You got a righty, a lefty, righty. You've got to go with Stanhouse. 7 1/3 innings for Mike Flanagan. A 2-1 lead. 5 outs to get. Don Stanhouse is an okay pitcher to bring in with the bases empty. The bases are empty because he walks batters. But he basically, Concepcion, Griffey, they just don't want... Stoddard is better against lefties. And, of course, Tippy would be pitching to Johnny Bench in this situation. His bench is bad against lefties. So it is keep messing my words here. Don Stanhouse, here's his card. In the 8th inning, with 1 out and a 1-run lead, to face Dave Concepcion. The pitch to Concepcion. 3-11 is a strikeout. And with 2 outs, it's Ken Griffey. The pitch to Ken Griffey. 1-7, here it is. Double 1-9, base hit, and it's a double. And you've got the tie run in scoring position for George Foster. Oh, my goodness. What do you do here? The guy, okay, so Stanhouse walks a bazillion guys anyway. You could really put a hurting on the Reds right now. If you walk Foster, Nicosia does not hit righties well at all. You have to go to your bench, and your bench is all lefties, at which point the Orioles go to Scott McGregor. But you'd be putting the lead run at first base. But it's George Foster, the 1977 National League MVP who hit 52 home runs. What do you do 5 outs away from getting a trophy if you're the Orioles? You walk him. They're going to walk George Foster. The Cincinnati Reds now have the lead run in Game 5 sitting there at first base with only 2 outs in the inning. 2 outs in the inning. And they have to get 1 more out in this inning. And it's Steve Nicosia. Let's look at the Nicosia card. Again, he's gotten on 2 out of 3 times, but he just does not get on enough against righties to warrant batting in this critical situation. Of all the left-handed hitters, Jerry Turner makes a lot of sense. I'm going to show you a couple cards. I'm going to show you Tom Hutton first. Neither guy is going to bat against a righty. Now, Hutton will survive against lefties, but it's walks. Now I'm going to show you the Turner card, and it will be the Turner card. And my reason is, look at the hits. He's got hits against lefties. So you're almost thinking, at this point, if you're Don Stanhouse, do you leave this clown out here and pitch to Jerry Turner? I'm thinking of leaving Stanhouse in here. So this is my reasoning. I'm going to leave Don Stanhouse in to face Jerry Turner. A walk still doesn't kill me because I got Johnny Bench up, and he would face Tippy Martinez because Bench isn't that good against lefties. Turner has better chance of tying the game by scoring Griffey with 2 outs against a lefty than he does a righty. So, in a move, and Tippy Martinez in the bullpen cannot believe he is not being brought into this game. Stanhouse intentionally walks George Foster, putting the lead run at first to face pinch hitter Jerry Turner. This is the move that could change the balance of the rest of the World Series. The pitch to Jerry Turner. 56 is ball four. That's pretty predictable. If you follow the Orioles in 1979, that's what Don Stanhouse did, and he'll be gone. So Stanhouse leaves after getting just one out in the 8th inning, and it's Tippy Martinez being brought in. And again, the Orioles have the odds in this particular plate appearance. Tippy Martinez, take a look at him, much better against righties and lefties. And we have to look at Johnny Bench again. Much better against righties and lefties. But it is Johnny Bench. In the 8th inning, his beloved Reds are down 2-1 and down 3-1 in the World Series. Wow, what drama. The pitch to Johnny Bench. 58 off of Tippy card is a fly ball to left field for the Hall of Famer. But it's just a one-run game, folks. This thing could go 15. We could be here a while. One-run game, bottom of the 8th. You got Willoughby. Willoughby will leave. You got some righties who don't hit righties particularly well, and that means Ron Davis in the 8th. Comes out of the bullpen for the Reds to face Carlos Lopez. Been in too much action for a World Series, for my own opinion, but here we go anyway. Carlos Lopez, urban legend for Baltimore sports lore, leading off in the bottom of the 8th. The pitch, 56 off of Ron Davis, is double 1-9, and it's a double for the speedy Lopez, an A-stealer and 1-15 runner. Paul Blair is an A bunter. This is a no-brainer. He is bunting. It is a terrible bunt. He rolls a 12. Now, for an A bunter, that's a force out, not a Lomax, right? Let me look at my chart. I do this so rarely. Yes, an A bunter. It is not a double play. It's just a pop out. No, it's a pop out. It's not. He's not even. Yeah, 11 is a fielder's choice. So oddly enough, the pop out means that Lopez. Let me think of it. What? Hold on one second, folks. Let me do this again. I rolled a 12. I had a runner at second base on a bunt. So you're telling me 1-2 is the fielder's choice on 11, dead meat at third base. But at 12, he lucks out and it's just a pop out, so the runner stays at second? That is how I'm reading this. I would invite everybody in the comment section to comment about this critical play. So, if he's at second base on an 8 bunter who rolls a 12, it's really just a foul out and the guy stays at second? That seems crazy. The Orioles would still have a runner in scoring position at that point. That's going to be the play. The Orioles have had the horseshoe in this series. Might as well continue with it. So, that is a line out on the bunt, or a popped up bunt, caught, and the runner stays at second base. It's not a double play. And again, I'll look at this one more time. If it's a B bunter, it is a double play. He bunted it into a double play on 12. And maybe, folks, it could be different rules with a runner on first than with a runner on second. But in any case, because it's a double play, it means the ball was popped into the air. So I'm calling it a foul out, or a pop out. We got a runner at second and 1 out, and it's Belanger. Belanger will swing away. No sense bunting when the guy is still in scoring position. So Mark Belanger, 66, off the Davis card, is a single to center field. Lopez will not run against Geronimo's -5 arm. And here we go again, folks. God, these critical decisions. Runners on the corners, 1 out, bottom of the 8th. The infield is up. It is Rick Dempsey. Ron Davis will pitch to him. You hit here, of course, no bunting or squeezing. The pitch to Rick Dempsey. 34 with the infield up is ground ball short, A. So it's now second and third with 2 outs, and it's Lowenstein. I don't like the walk here. I like the lefty Tomlin coming in to face Lowenstein because Lowenstein isn't going anywhere. They need him for his defense. I could also go with Joe Price if it's just one batter instead of Tomlin. Let's do it. Joe Price, who pitched in Game 3, is not scheduled to pitch again. So number 4 starter Joe Price is coming in. Let's look at his card again. He was a starting pitcher in Game 3. Got a no decision. He comes in the 8th inning here to face left-handed hitter John Lowenstein. Do we show his card? We'll show it again. The walks don't normally trouble you here because there's a base open. The pitch to John Lowenstein. 56 off of Price is a grounder to second X. You have to roll it. It's a 1-6. This should be an out and not a BS error on Morgan. And there we go. We take this into the 9th. I don't know if I got enough voice to go to extra innings, folks. I really don't. This is World Series Game 5, and the tank is running empty on this Strat-O-Matic League. I'm telling you now. Top of the 9th inning of a 2-1 game. Steve Bry, Cesar Geronimo, Tommy Helms against Tippy Martinez. On the bench, you still have Hutton. You still have Brohammer. But you got to leave this in the hands. You still have Stoddard and Clay Carroll available. Clay Carroll would pitch against a right-handed hitter if it meant the game. And all the lefties are exhausted. That wouldn't happen. Because I doubt Tom Hutton and Jerry Turner would not be available. They would certainly come in against Clay Carroll. So really it's just Stoddard and Tippy. And you could go Scott McGregor as a lefty who gets righties out. If it comes to that. Steve Bry leading off in the 9th inning. It's 2-1. The pitch to Steve Bry. 45 off Tippy is a sky to right. All right, we've got Cesar Geronimo. He's had a really nice postseason. He's really overachieving, and he's been playing great, and he needs a hit now more than ever in this season. Cesar Geronimo. The pitch from Tippy Martinez. 46 is a K, and we are down to 1 out. And the Orioles are 1 out away from winning a World Series, and I'm saying it this way because I'm envisioning what happens if the Reds win the World Series. I could point to this moment later on, folks. This moment. Tommy Helms. Let's take a look at Tommy Helms. His second stint in 1977, his final year in baseball, he played for the Red Sox, hit .271. He actually hit only 1 homer in 59 at-bats. But Strat-O-Matic gave him home runs against left-handed and right-handed pitchers, even though he hit just 1. Interesting. He's got homer 1 of 4 on 3.5. Do I have a better option? The option is get me to Morgan. Just get me to Joe Morgan. I am going to pinch hit Tom Hutton. Let's take a look at Tom Hutton, the left-handed batter. He is being brought in to pinch hit for Tommy Helms simply because more on base on his card against lefties. Tippy isn't going anywhere. And the strategy is get me to Joe Morgan for the World Series. And Martinez is not going anywhere. He has to pitch through this. Tom Hutton, a .309 hitter with plenty of on base against lefties. The pitch to Tom Hutton for a possible World Series championship. Here's the pitch. 2-7 is it. It's ball 4. It is the move. Hutton gets the walk, and Joe Morgan will walk to home plate. Oh my goodness, folks. Hutton, do we want him to get to second base? It's a 12-runner. No, we do not. It is Joe Morgan. Let's look at Joe Morgan's card. Homers are about the same. Advantage Joe Morgan here. Morgan's Tippy Martinez is better against right-handed batters than left-handed batters. And they have Concepcion on deck. If Morgan, even if Morgan draws a walk, that would be great news for this Reds team. The Orioles are 1 Joe Morgan at bat from winning a World Series championship. The pitch to Joe Morgan. 4-4 second X. Rich Dower a super above average defender. He's a 2 E8 at second base. The World Series result will be right here when I plug in the 2. But I plug in the E rating. He is an E8. 2 E8 at second base. And we look at the result. It is a GBA on the 2 E8. Unbelievable. It took, oh my goodness. If you flip those last 2 recalculations, it would have been a single on the 2 E8, his roll. Unbelievable. It is a ground ball G8 for Morgan off of Dower with 2 outs in the 9th inning. This is excruciating, but it's over. The Orioles have managed to, the astronomical odds of winning 4 out of 5 against the Reds. They came back in the bottom of the 9th in 3. Palmer got a 1-0 shutout in 5. They had the bases loaded in this top of the 8th. They didn't score a run here. Morgan almost reached off of Rich Dower, who, granted, that would have been a cheap way for the Orioles to lose the game on a 2 E8 second baseman. And again, that would have won it. It would have put 2 men on base with 2 outs. But anyway, a GB8, there it is. Rich Dower is a 2 E8 at second base, above average defensive player, makes the final out of this World Series game. It is over. Tippy Martinez, the longest 4 outs. Gosh, that was pulling teeth. But also the bottom of the 8th inning was also pulling teeth. We had, when did Price came in? Just to pitch to Lowenstein. So he pitched to 1/3, and Davis pitched an inning and a third, right? No, Davis came in. Oh, he came in at the start of the inning. So he pitched 2/3 of the inning, my bad. Willoughby came in to face Ken Singleton, and he got to 2 outs. That's right. So Willoughby, this should be his 2/3. And then in the 8th inning, yeah, that is right. That's 8 outs, right? In the 8th inning, Davis got 2 outs, and Price got 1 out. There it is. And the Orioles got the 9 innings right there. Oh my goodness. The World Series is over. I barely made it through this one. My goodness. It was only 5 games, but the craziest 5 games in a row. I'm just stunned for the Cincinnati Reds. I just cannot believe. And the folks, you had 1 run. I mean, this is a big red machine. This is Game 5 of the World Series. They've done nothing except for 1 game. The Oriole pitching and defense. 2 Jim Palmer shutouts. A comeback win an extra innings off Joe Price, and another pitching masterpiece by Flanagan and his bullpen. Tippy gets the save. Inning and a third. Bailing out Stanhouse in the 8th. Tippy came in to face Bench, the Hall of Famer. That's so tough. Faced Joe Morgan. 2 of his 4 outs were to Hall of Famers. My goodness. A walk and a strikeout for Tippy in the save. He might be, I don't know if he's the World Series MVP, but Tippy Martinez might be the postseason MVP for the Orioles. Because he came up huge against the number 1 seed team, against the Angels, and now in this series. He's been virtually untouchable in the bullpen. Stanhouse came in and faced Concepcion. A strikeout, and then a hit, a walk, and an intentional walk. But none of those guys scored. So he gives up a hit, 2 walks, and a K. And Flanagan gets the win. 3 hits. Sorry, folks, the Reds deserve to lose this thing. They could not hit a bull or you-know-what with a shovel. That is pathetic. I don't know what, I mean, they just play the Orioles, and just the Orioles have beaten the Reds 8 out of 9 times in World Series games. And then the other iteration, it was Mike Cuellar and Dave McNally shutting them out. I just don't have an answer for this. All these moves are really taxing, trying to figure out what to do to help both teams, and just trying to figure out the stats. You know, this is a stats game. That's why we all play it. Trying to figure out what is the best scenario. And I welcome the comments. Please comment how you would have done pitching changes. I mean, this would be one of the best tests of the YouTube. Like this is a baseball game that had so many turns in the late innings of pitching moves and maneuvers. So I welcome any and all comments of how it would have been done differently. 4 walks for Flanagan, 8 big strikeouts. Price got Lowenstein out. Ron Davis gave up 2 hits. None of them scored. Willoughby was big. Jim Willoughby, big moment here in the 7th, facing Kenny Singleton, DeCinces, and Murray, and not allowing any insurance runs to score. A walk and a K. That was a big part of this game and the strategy. Mario Soto got pulled early because his team wasn't hitting. He pitched fine. Mario Soto, 7 hits in 6 1/3 innings, 2 runs. This guy hits homer 1 of 6 off his card, so he hit the 30% chance, and he had 1 bad inning putting runners on. Has to take the loss. Excuse me. He gets the loss because the Orioles never lost the lead. The 2 runs were earned. Walked 4, struck out 5. 1019 0108. 2914 2914 710 56 56 710. The World Series is over. We'll look at the box and do a wrap of this. And in the next videos, we'll look at eliminating the teams, reconciling the 1977 box, and do a review of the season and other videos to come up in the future days here. Well, I knew I'd get a great World Series. It's a little disappointing it's over this soon, but I don't know if I could have survived Games 6 and 7. I might have had to schedule those for a different day. I am just toast right now, folks. 28-19. The Orioles winning a World Series, not even 10 games over 500. They actually cracked 240. It took them all season in the postseason, but ladies and gentlemen, the Baltimore Orioles are no longer hitting in 230 as a team. They're hitting 240. The team ERA did not get below 3, though. It's 3.04, but still much better than for the era they're playing in. Mike Flanagan, 6-1. 20 divided by... Hold on one second. Mike Flanagan had a 2.27 ERA with no Palmer's is about the same. And I got to give you Carlos Lopez batting average again after going 3 for 4 in that game. So Lopez, 41 for 128. 320. No other Orioles hitting close to 320 for the Orioles than Carlos Lopez. He wins the inaugural John Tamargo Award. If you followed the World Series last year between the Phillies and the Red Sox, John Tamargo, an extra player that the Red Sox picked up, helped them win Game 7 of that World Series, and he gets free beer in Boston. Well, it's like this. Like Carlos Lopez gets free crabs, steamed crabs anywhere he wants in Baltimore the rest of his life for his magnificent performance in Baltimore. The Reds finished 28-16, 264, 344 team ERA. Look at these records. Joe Price was 8-1 out of the 4 spot. Seaver 9-5, but he lost some heartbreakers, was 8-1 at one point. Mario Soto 6-4. 355 ERA. He could have pitched better than that. George Foster, 10 homers and 38 RBIs. Johnny Bench, 8-27. How about Morgan? Morgan had 42 walks in 44 games. On-base percentage, well over 400. He was 44 for 151. 291 for a 288 card. Right on target. The league is over after playing 502 games. 267 batting average and a 4.04 league ERA. These are very low. Very low. That's outstanding pitching. Normally it's around 415 to 420. And the batting average is around 270. So this was a great year for pitching. 77 to 80 iteration. Or it was at least a year of slumps at the worst time. I'm done tonight, folks. I appreciate you tuning in and watching this. Thanks for checking out the Carryover League and look for future videos wrapping up the season. We'll see you next time.